this. It's been 30 days since you finally said, I'm doing it. I'm starting my own event business. You've got your business officially registered, a simple but professional website. A few planners know your name in the area, and you maybe even got your very first lead. That's not a dream, you guys. That's exactly what can happen when you focus on the right things the first month. Today, I am going to take you step by step through what you need to do to start your event planning business. Let's go right now. Before we dive into the 30-day roadmap, I want you to check yourself on a few important things. I need you to ask yourself first, have you assisted at least 10 weddings for other planners? Have you worked with a catering company? Maybe a server, maybe a service captain. You need to see and understand how food and beverage timelines run and all of the behind the scenes. And have you done venue tours and gotten familiar with the grounds on how these venues operate, where the loading docks are, and just overall the big information you need to know? And here's the big one. Have you planned any family events? I'm talking baby showers, engagement parties, maybe even Thanksgiving. That is where you need to start before diving into this video. So if you answered no to most of these, you might not be ready to launch your event business just yet, and that is totally okay. I want you to first get some hands-on practice, and then you can come back to this and see what the next steps are. But if you're nodding along and you've checked off most of these boxes, then you're officially ready to call yourself a planner. But let's talk about what happens in the first 30 days. By the way, I'm Gabby. I've been a wedding planner for over 12 years now, and I have decided to help other wedding planners start and grow their wedding business here on YouTube. I share a lot of intimate situations that happen in my own business, and I know for a lot of you, the hardest part is getting started. So I want to focus on a lot of videos like that for you. Okay, let's get started. Week 1, we are laying down the foundation. So this week is all about getting really the boring but essential pieces in place. I'm talking about like the stuff that makes you legit. Decide on your services. Don't try to do it all. Pick one package and focus on that. Maybe it's full service planning, maybe it's wedding management or day of coordination. You know how I feel about that word, but I digress. And if you don't know, I recommend just starting with something like wedding management or month of coordination. This way, you're going to get a ton of experiences with a shorter timeline, so you're not necessarily working with them on planning the whole thing. Okay, next, we got to register your business name and ideally form an LLC if that makes sense for you. Obviously, talk to your CPA and all that good stuff, but you're going to want to at least have a business account. That can be just a simple checking account, making sure that any payments you receive, business, wedding related or event related, go into that account. I promise you, it's just going to make things so much easier when it comes time to tax stuff. Maybe what's even more important than knowing how to collect payments is your contract. I have talked about this in past videos. My ride or die contract queen is the legal Paige. Her name is Paige, and she has had these amazing like bundles for all sorts of wedding pro categories. So some of them are like wedding photography, wedding planner, event planner. If you don't want the wedding lingo, you could have event assistant. So this is something that you could send to your assistants to make sure they're following the rules that you put in there. And then you just literally have the clients plug in their information. It is so easy, but I beg you, I don't care if you even ask ChatGPT to create a contract, please do not take on any clients without a contract. I cannot tell you how messy that can get. And like I said earlier, make sure it is clear what your responsibilities are versus your client's responsibilities. That just keeps it nice and clean and no problem down the line. Now, in terms of organizing your dashboards or your planning folders, start very basic. Like I'm talking a Google Drive with just event folders by date and name. This way you can just put all of the information for your clients. I like to collect contracts from other vendors that they've already booked so that I can read through that and say, oh, I can see the load-in time happens 2 hours before the DJ goes live. So I can plug that into my timeline without necessarily asking client for that information. I also like to put in there my timeline. Once I've created it, you create a simple timeline in an Excel spreadsheet or Google sheet. It could be a Word doc. Doc or a Google Doc and you put your branding up there. Like, make it simple as you want it to be and as beautiful as you want it to be. But I would say create your systems ahead of time so that you're not scrambling to create something when you actually have clients. And a little pro tip for you, because trust me, I went through many iterations of this, but don't waste time on perfecting your logo. You can change your logo, you can change your website at any point. So even if it's just your initials, get you started, people are not going to be judging your performance based off of your logo. So find something easy on Canva, get started that way, just so you have a stamp of some sort, but do not over worry about your logo. Okay, week 2, we are building your presence. What I mean by that is, now that you're official, you've got your ducks in a row on paper, we need to make sure that people actually know you exist. That means the first thing you're going to do is create a one-page website. You do not need a $5, $10, $15,000 website yet. A simple page saying exactly kind of who you are, what you do, and who your ideal client is all you need. I'm talking about a nice headshot, maybe a short paragraph explaining some fun things about you, maybe plugging in a few keywords about your geographic location, that you're servicing this area. That will help you get found on Google. And of course, I'm begging you, please put your email. Next, choose one. I said one social media platform. Maybe you're on Instagram, maybe you're on TikTok, YouTube. I would say probably unlikely for your wedding plan clients, but I would say Instagram or TikTok is going to be your best place to create content. If you can, post 3 to 4 times per week in this particular week. So you're in week 2, start posting, introduce yourself. Maybe it's even organizing your website or your office space. Talk about why you started this business. What are you excited about? Like, really put yourself out there, and don't worry, eventually when the people really do come, those posts will be pretty old, but at least you've got some content up there for them. Next, you've got to officially announce your business. Yes, this is scary, but you've got to make that post. It's going to be simple, something simple as, hey friends, I just launched my event planning business. I would love to help you plan your next event. And it could be anything. I know you're maybe specializing in weddings coming up, but you may want to offer your services like we talked about for baby showers, engagement parties, whatever it is. You just got to get your foot in the door. And just remember, a lot of your first clients are going to come from your immediate circle. It could be friends you went to high school with. It could be family members. It could be neighbors. So putting this on your Facebook, for example, is a really great place to start. Don't underestimate your immediate circle of friends, family, yoga instructors, Pilates, whatever, coworkers. Put the word out there. Okay, we're now in week 3. It is time to get visible and gain experience. So these are kind of midway through the day 15 through 21-ish. This week, we're moving from I exist to I am actually in this industry. So you're going to reach out to other wedding planners. You're going to send a short, kind email offering to assist. But you don't just stop there. You keep going. Girl, I am 12 years into the business and I have 3 or 4 shifts coming up for other event planners. The reason I still assist wedding planners to this day is I will always learn something from another planner. Not everybody is going to reply to your email, and that's fine. But one yes can lead to a whole relationship, of a whole lasting career relationship, to be honest, and someone that really trusts you and you trust them, and you guys can work with each other forever. Next, you're going to go to some venue open houses. Now, I got a DM from one of you recently asking about, like, how do I get on the list of these open houses? And the reality is, you may need to approach local venues and ask and say, hey, I'm a wedding planner in the area. I just started, but I would love to tour the venues and speak to my clients about your venue. When is your next open house? And they may have a date already, and you put that on your calendar and they can add you to the mailing list. But if they don't, my other recommendation is to reach out to local marketing companies. So what I mean by that is, there are venues will hire marketing companies to help promote them and put together these networking events or open houses and plan all of that. And so maybe they will be given a package that allows them to have 2 open houses per year. Next, you're going to actually make your services PDF. I use Canva always. I love that thing. So just whip up a 1-page of your services. Remember, we talked about exactly being very specific in what you offer, that you do, and what your clients do. Our role, your role. I've said this before. I've just found it for certain clients. It is really important for them to get very specific on, oh, The planners said they were doing vendor management. Does that mean that they're also calling them to get the proposal? No, no, we only take on your vendor once you've booked, you've selected your services, you've had the initial conversation, then send them to us. So be very, very specific. It just helps you avoid confrontation or confusion down the road. We're at week 4, which is systems and first clients. Like, you should be excited. You should be excited week 1, but now you should really be excited. Okay, so it's time to start thinking like a CEO. First thing you're doing, you're setting up your client management system. Now, we've talked about this. This could be as simple as a Google Drive. You may have to pay to upgrade so that you have more stuff in there, more room, or it could be something like Honeybook, Aisle Planner, Notion is what we use, and I'm happy to do another video about the Notion portal that we have, but go look in my past videos. I have a bit of a walkthrough of that system. So set something up at the beginning, the first month, you're ready. Like I said, when I first started, I had folders that said the year. So 2023 events, 2024 events, 2025. When you click into that, then I would have the clients by date. So, January 10th, Joe and Jane, February 2nd, blah, blah, blah. So folder upon folder. The more folders, the happier my brain is, to be honest. Now, one of the scariest things is a discovery call. I know I still get nervous about them, but we want to practice your discovery call. So maybe write out a script. How have ChatGPT help you out? We want to talk about the services you can offer and the pricing. Write out a script, talk about how you're going to best explain your services and pricing, rehearse it with a friend until it feels natural. You're going to sound awkward at the beginning. Everybody does. I still do sometimes. I have weird silences. If the client's not responding, I'm like, oh, what do I talk about next? But the more you do it, the more comfortable you're going to feel. And if you bomb a few here and there, don't worry. More and more clients will come back. If you are really struggling with this, one program that I recommend that I did years ago, that you're basically, when you join the program, you're part of it for life. It's Maria Bayer's selling course, Irresistible Selling. I will link it down below. Listen, you have in-person calls, check-ins, but it's also a self-guided audio course. And she talks about the psychology of how to sell, but also actionable things to do. You got to talk to Maria. Next, you're going to get your first client. So your first client might be a friend of a friend. It might be a small backyard wedding. It might be an engagement party. That is okay. What matters is you're gaining the experience. You are capturing it, right? You're going to have photos of it. You're going to learn from it, and you're going to use it to build your momentum. That first event is going to be the most important teaching event ever. You're going to be thinking, you're going to sit with yourself. You're going to have a meeting the next day or a couple days after with coffee, and you're going to write down what worked, what didn't work, how can I do better? By day 30, you're not supposed to have 10 clients or a 6-figure brand. You're supposed to have a foundation, some visibility in the online space, and at least one experience under your belt. So that is success right there. Month 2 is what we're building on after that. So don't be so hard on yourself. Get this foundation started, and I would love to know how those first 30 days are going. So there you go. Those are your first 30 days mapped out step by step. If you follow this plan, by the end of the month, you will actually feel like you own a business. Like, that is all part of it too. It's not just a dream anymore. It's like you've taken action and you own this business. And if you want to see the real behind the scenes of how I run my planning company and some mistakes I make, some wins, some secrets, I am doing all that in my YouTube membership. So I would love for you to come and join me. I do some members only videos. We're going to do some more live chats as we gain momentum with more members. I would love to see you there. The link is in the description below. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. I would love to hear your feedback about this video, but also any other video topics you would like to hear more of. Drop them in the comments. Tell me how it's going. Where are you at in your planning journey? And was this helpful? And until then, I will see you at the next video. Bye.